Hello, lovely. I'm Maria.
And my name is Rory, and we are the hosts of the IELTS Speaking for Success podcast, the podcast that aims to help you improve your speaking skills as well as your listening skills along the way.
We've started this podcast to give you gorgeous grammar and fabulous super vocabulary for your high IELTS score. Band 9 score. Band 9. Rory, say band 9, come on. Band 9 score.
Band 9.
Yeah, exactly.
This episode is brought to you by Classes with Rory and Teacher Training with Maria. Check out the links in the description to find out more.
Oh, Rory, come on, stop advertising our products and courses and beautiful stuff.
Why can't we advertise on the podcast? It belongs to us.
Shall we talk about advertising?
Oh my, yes.
What kind of advertising do you like?
I mean, I don't really like any of them, frankly, but if I'm going to have to listen to them, then they should at least be entertaining and be funny or have a fun jingle or something like that.
Do you like advertisements?
Not really. They're kind of a pain, to be honest. They constantly interrupt video content to tell people about things that are unconnected to whatever you're listening to, which can be quite a jarring experience. Even if it's not video, banner adverts on websites can be distracting when you're trying to focus on reading something that you came there for.
Do you see many ads on trains or other transport?
I do, yeah. But they aren't as in your face as the ones on the media, or in any media, or on the internet. They're usually limited to things like posters and maybe billboards if you look outside, which is excellent because I detest them.
Is there an advertisement that made an impression on you when you were a child?
There used to be an advert for Asda, which is our version of Walmart, that involved people saying the catchphrase, "That's Asda price," and slapping their pockets to make the coins jangle together. That was quite fun. People would sing it all the time, even if they weren't in the shop.
As you know, we now release all of our premium content for free, and it's available for 1 month. After 1 month, it goes into our super secret archive. To sign up for the archive, click the link in the description below. See you soon.
So, advertisements. A very popular topic in IELTS. Your essay could be about advertising, speaking part 3 could be about advertisements and advertising, and speaking part 1, and speaking part 2 as well. Describe an advert you like or dislike, or an advert that made an impression on you. Interesting, huh?
So even in IELTS, advertising is everywhere.
Yeah. And first of all, the word itself. We say advertisements, meaning like any advertisements on TV, in newspapers, the internet. You can also say adverts or ads. And advertising. What does it mean, like advertising? Like what kind of advertising do you like?
Yeah, the steps that companies take to promote awareness of their products.
Advertising is a more general term. Like advertisements is a specific word. For example, an advert, like a pop-up advert on the internet, like pop, and it just like pops up, all of a sudden. So it's a pop-up ad. But advertising, like there are different kinds of advertising, like pop-up ads, pictures in the newspapers, right? Some TV commercials. And you can say that I don't really like any of them. So I don't like any advertisements.
Of course, the question is about the ones you like. So you can say, if we have to choose one, then these ones. But like a last resort, I try to avoid advertising. I have an ad blocker.
And if you Google different types of advertising, you can find like print advertising, broadcasts, video, TV advertising, mobile advertising, social media advertising, direct mail advertising. Like they send you an email with some adverts, right, or invitations. Product placement is also a kind of advertising. Rory, what's product placement?
Is that not putting products in media like movies and TV series? And it's not explicit advertising to draw attention to the product. It's just the fact that an actor or an actress is using a particular product.
Yeah, also we have audio advertising,
We did that at the start of this episode.
Usually an advert has a jingle. If it's an audio advert, so something like buy our courses.
Could you imagine if we had a song about our courses?
Oh yeah, that would be lovely. But a jingle is not a song, right? A jingle is something like a very short, I don't know, like short sounds, right? Jingle.
No, it could be a song that's used in an advert.
Okay. Yeah, also actually billboards are a kind of advertising, right?
They are, yeah. I often get confused between billboards and other kinds of things. Because you have billboards and you have hoarding.
What?
Yeah, you have billboards and you have hoarding. Apparently, though, the only difference between them is a billboard is used in the UK and hoarding is used in America.
Okay. Yeah, also, dear listener, you can talk about digital advertising and media advertising if you want to be super cool. Podcast advertising.
Which we are rather notorious for.
Yeah, and also like banners, like display banners. If you read an article online and then there's a banner, right? And if you are driving your car, you see a billboard.
Or if you're walking past, or on the bus or on the train, you might see them when you look out the window.
Yeah, also you can say like, oh, I dislike all these Instagram advertisements, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok advertising. There you go.
Like the stealth advertising, when it looks like a real Instagram post, but actually it's not a post. It's something to advertise a product.
As for traditional advertisements, we have brochures and flyers. Some, leaflets, the actual stuff like you see in stores or in cafes. So we call them brochures? A brochure, leaflet? What do you call them?
I call them brochures, but I think you can call them brochures.
Brochure, yeah, or brochure. Yeah, a type of a small magazine with pictures, or a leaflet, booklet. Advertisements are a kind of a pain. Or you can say a pain in the neck. It's like, oh, no, I really dislike them. Like, oh, enough. They constantly interrupt video content. Like you're watching a movie and then bam, a pop-up ad. So constantly, all the time, interrupt. They just like butt in there, Butt in is a nice phrasal verb. Our phrasal verb course, the link is in the description.
Oh my God, Maria's taking over my job.
What is a jarring experience?
That's just when you're knocked out of your engagement with whatever it is you're trying to listen to. So imagine you're listening to a peaceful podcast about, advertising, and then it's interrupted by an advert that's for washing powder. That's a jarring experience because it's totally contrasting with what you were listening to.
Yeah, if something is jarring, usually sound or experience, it's different or unexpected. Usually something unpleasant, and we can talk about jarring colors, jarring experiences, jarring cry, a jarring cry. Rory, could you give us a sentence with this word, jarring?
Well, if you're trying to read a book and someone starts talking to you, that can be a jarring experience because it's difficult to keep reading the book at the same time.
Yeah. Adverts are also distracting. They distract our attention from what we've been doing. Annoying and distracting. Usually on the metro, we see many advertisements on trains, on buses, maybe even in taxis. Rory, for example, in your country, in Scotland, you have cabs. Do you see many ads? I think they have screens now, and they run these like shows, like TVs in cabs, no?
They're posters, but I don't see digital advertising there. But I haven't really been looking because I hate adverts. I detest them, which is a word I use to describe my hatred.
I detest adverts. I dislike them. I don't like them. If you really hate them, dear listener, I hate adverts. You can say like, I can't stand advertisements. Ooh, really hate them. And some adverts are right in your face. You know, like you're sitting there on a train and some ads are just like looking at your face. Like they're looking at you, they're screaming, so they're really distracting. So you can say that I don't mind ads if they aren't in your face.
Yes, if they aren't as in your face as the ones in the media.
Okay.
But if it's in your face, it's like very close to you, personal, distracting, too much. It might even be an idiom, Maria.
Actually, according to the Cambridge Online Dictionary, it's an idiom and it's slang.
Ooh.
Which is very informal, in your face, shocking and annoying. It's difficult to ignore. So if something like happens in your face, you know, like you can't ignore it and you don't like it, so it's negative. And could you give us another example with this in your face and adverts?
Yes, I don't like advertising that's in your face. I don't like advertising, period, to be honest.
And we say that there are lots of adverts in the media, dear listener. There are lots of ads on trains, but in the media. What about the internet? On the internet or in the internet?
On the internet. Always on when it comes to the internet, for whatever reason that is.
I remember one advert that made an impression on me. So something impressed me a lot as a child. And Rory told us about this advert for what? We don't know this Asda. What's Asda?
A superstore or a supermarket.
Yeah, dear listener, for your IELTS purposes, you should know an advert that impressed you. Maybe, I don't know, Nike advert, or McDonald's, or Guinness. They're pretty good with ads.
Are we being paid to advertise for these stores? No.
No, sorry, but like, they're doing their job well, I think. Especially like Nike, I think they have nice ads.
Is this you hedging your bets for future advertising?
And usually a good ad has a catchphrase.
Ugh.
A catchphrase is this phrase that you remember, and they repeat it several times. Just do it. Yeah, is it a catchphrase?
Well, just do it is a catchphrase for Nike, yeah. And so is I'm loving it.
And Rory, are you ready for an advertising joke?
Can we not have an advertising quiz?
No. So, dear listener, the joke is amazing. So, it's a short conversation between two people. One person is called Phil, okay? And another person is called Bill. So, the question is, what should we call a huge advertising board? Rory, you don't answer the question. What should we call...
I know what we should call it.
No, stop. So, what should we call a huge advertising board? Phil says a billboard, but Bill says, I have a better idea.
Oh, wow. We'll see you in our next episode. Bye.
What kind of advertising do you like?
I mean, I don't really like any of them, frankly, but if I'm going to have to listen to them, then they should at least be entertaining and be funny or have a fun jingle or something like that.
Do you like advertisements?
Not really. They're kind of a pain, to be honest. They constantly interrupt video content to tell people about things that are unconnected to whatever you're listening to, which can be quite a jarring experience. Even if it's not video, banner adverts on websites can be distracting when you're trying to focus on reading something that you came there for.
Do you see many ads on trains or other transport?
I do, yeah. But they aren't as in your face as the ones on the media, or in any media, or on the internet. They're usually limited to things like posters and maybe billboards if you look outside, which is excellent because I detest them.
Is there an advertisement that made an impression on you when you were a child?
There used to be an advert for Asda, which is our version of Walmart, that involved people saying the catchphrase, that Asda price and slapping their pockets to make the coins jangle together. That was quite fun. People would sing it all the time, even if they weren't in the shop.